Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another cool product that I think you're going to really like. It's the Wyze Plug Outdoor, and it's a smart home automation device that allows you to completely control anything outside your home that you would normally plug into an outlet. And you can control it from your smartphone using the application, you can yell at a smart speaker, or you can set schedules to turn things on and off different times during the day and night. And what's so cool about the product is you'll plug it into any outlet outside your home, and you have two circuits inside there that you can control independently. So if you're one of those families that likes those big blow-up things on their front lawn over the holidays, imagine plugging this in outside and then yelling at your smart speaker, "Hey, turn Santa on!" And all of a sudden that big blow-up thing comes to life on your front lawn. You could also schedule it through the application. Now, I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about what separates this Wyze product from all the other smart plugs that are on the market, because what Wyze does as a company is they're brilliant. They design products that are typically smarter than the other products on the market at a lower price. So there's things built into this that you won't find in other smart plugs on the market, and I'll get into those in a minute. But before I get ahead of myself here, I want to do an unboxing. So there's not a lot in the box, but I always like to show you what comes with the product when you buy it. So you'll find the smart plug. You'll find a mounting kit, which is really nice. They give you a mounting kit that'll actually clamp this to a wall if you need to give you a little bit of strain relief. And they also include a quick start guide right here that walks you through how you can add this to the application and how you can control it. Now, I've talked about Wyze before. Again, they're a brilliant company. They make all kinds of home automation products. They make light bulbs and switches and plugs and automated security systems, all kinds of different products that are all incredibly smart. And the key to their products in general is that they don't require a hub. A lot of these require a second hub, and you've got to hook the hub up and connect it to the hub. These connect directly to your Wi-Fi. More importantly, they've built in an enhanced Wi-Fi feature to this that'll go a lot further than standard Wi-Fi components. And that's important because if you've got lights in your backyard, maybe they're 100 feet away from your home, you need something that's going to be able to connect to your Wi-Fi over that distance. So this one gives you extended Wi-Fi. I've used these all over my yard. I've got trees in my backyard that we put Christmas lights on this year. I plug this in back there, plug the lights into it, and I can set a schedule to turn those lights on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and turn them off at midnight, and it works just fine. There's no connection issues. So physically, the unit itself can handle 15 amps of current between both of the outlets on the bottom. And as I mentioned, there are two outlets. It's got an IP64 rating, which means completely weatherproof. You can use it in snow, you can use it in rain or sleet, any conditions you're fine outdoors. You'll plug this into the outlet, and then you have complete independent control over both of the outlets. The other cool thing is you have switches on here you can use to turn them on. So if you're outside, you want to turn on the lights early, just tap that switch, it'll turn on. If you've set a schedule, it'll still turn off when you decide to turn it off. So 15 amps is a lot of current to be able to draw through this. Most outlets outside your home are typically 15 or 20 amps, so you're getting the full use out of that outlet. Another nice thing about this unit is that the programming that's in the application gives you so much control over when those lights turn on. There's a sensor in here that'll actually sense darkness, so you could say to those lights outside, "Hey, I don't want to deal with a schedule. Just when it gets dark, turn them on. When it gets light, turn them off." So there's a lot of ways you can program it. One of my favorite features, though, is the vacation feature, where I can actually tell it randomly come on. So if I plug this into something in the backyard, maybe string lights over my patio, imagine a bad guy looking at my house thinking, "Boy, I had to go investigate that. It looks like nobody's home." And all of a sudden, boom, the lights come on out back. And he's thinking, "Well, I'm not going to break into that house." And then next day, he's watching it again, and they come on at a different time. So it's a random setting inside the application. It also does current monitoring. So if you're into that kind of thing where you want to know, what are those lights costing me? How much energy are they drinking? And what's that costing me to turn those lights on? In the application, you can actually see how much current is being drawn by those lights, and you can figure out, does it make sense for me to go with LEDs next time, or should I still use incandescent bulbs? So a lot of cool features built in. I think the biggest advantage that Wyze brings to this market is that a lot of the other vendors on the market are here today and they're gone tomorrow, and they've got their own applications, which means if you buy another company's product, you've got to download their application, which means you've got another application on your phone you have to keep track of. Does it integrate with your smart speaker? Doesn't it? How do I get notifications? With Wyze, they have one application that works across all of their products. So if you buy their smart bulbs or their indoor smart plugs or their home automation system or their security system, everything's inside that same application, which makes it incredibly easy. The other key thing is they've worked really closely with all the major smart speaker vendors out there, all the home automation companies, whether it's Google or Amazon, anybody you're using, and it integrates right with that system. So the minute you add this to the application, and let's say you're using the Amazon system, immediately you'll get a notification from your smart speaker, "I've discovered 2 plugs." Look at that. And I can name them what I want, and then I have to yell at the smart speaker and it turns on. So I love the simplicity of their system. I love the integration all into one application. And I really love the fact that I don't have to deal with a hub. It connects directly to my Wi-Fi. I got a separate IP address for both of these units. I can turn them on as I need to through the app or through my smart speaker or even through programming. Now, if you stay tuned next, what I want to do is show you just how easy it is to add it to the application. And then I'll come back and reinforce some of the things that I feel really separate this hardened outdoor plug from Wyze from all the other ones that are on the market, because this space is exploding. It seems like every company out there is building some kind of outdoor smart plug. And again, there's a lot of pitfalls with those companies where maybe they don't deliver as much current as this one does, or maybe they've got a wacky application that has limited functions and features. Wyze has really thought this through. I think the company's brilliant, and I've said that before when I reviewed some of their smart plugs and their smart bulbs. This is just a nice addition to their catalog of products. I've got 4 of these plugged in outside my house right now because I don't have a lot of switches on the outlets outside. What this does is give me a virtual switch. I can plug this into an outlet, plug stuff into it, and boom, I've got an outdoor switch that's digital. So I love that. So anyway, stay tuned. I'll show you how to add this to the application next, and then I'll come back with some final thoughts. Setting up the Wyze Plug Outdoor is incredibly easy. Now, if it's your first Wyze product, you'll need to download the application to your phone. You'll have to set up an account and sign into that account. And once you do that, you'll be on the main screen of the Wyze app, which I've got up right now. And you can see I've got a bunch of devices already added there. Yours will be blank if it's your first device. But to add this Wyze Plug Outdoor, you'll hit the plus sign in the upper left-hand corner, and that'll bring up a menu of choices. Now, we're going to add a device. You can also add a rule. You can do a bunch of other things there, but we're going to add a device. It's brand new. So I'll click that. And then it asks me, what do you want to add? So I could add a camera, some sensors, power and lighting, other devices. Well, we're in power and lighting, so click that. And then it comes up with a bunch of choices for products that Wyze makes. You could have a Wyze bulb, Wyze Plug Indoor, the color. We're using the Wyze Plug Outdoor, so I'll tap that. Now, this step requires it to be in pairing mode. If it's a brand new device, when you plug it in, it'll have the blue light flashing already, which is indicating it's in pairing mode, but mine is as well. But if it isn't, you can reset the device and get it in pairing mode. So just check that the blue light's blinking. If it is, hit the next button. Now it's going to ask you for your home network because it has to connect directly to your Wi-Fi, and it's important that it connects over a 2.4 gigahertz frequency. Most home Wi-Fis have 2.4 and 5.8. Just make sure you point it at the 2.4 gig. Now mine is a Bayside network. I already know it's 2.4, so I'll hit the next button. I've already signed in with the password credentials, and that's for your Wi-Fi network. And now it's searching for the plug, and once it finds that plug, it's going to connect to it. There it is. So it found the plug and it's connecting. It's going to take a second or two for the application to sync up with the plug and have it sync up to your Wi-Fi. So it's passing along your Wi-Fi credentials so the plug can talk directly to your home network. And once it finishes that, it comes back up. Now, look at that. At the top of the screen, Amazon already knows that it's there. So Alexa knows that I've added 2 new plugs to my network, and it's ready to control them with my voice. Now, you can name those anything you want. I'm going to call them Test 1. Let's see here. Test 1 and Test 2. Just to make it easy so I can keep track of what I'm doing here. Test 2. There we go. And save. And we're set to go. Now all I have to do is go back to the main menu on the application. There we go. And there's the main application. And look, I've got Test 1 and Test 2. And they're both on at this point, so I can turn them off using the application just by tapping that circle. I'll tap that. And it turned off. And I'll turn the other one off as well. And the best part for me, because I'm a bit lazy, is I can yell at my smart speaker. As long as I'm using the name of what I've labeled them, I can turn them on just yelling at my smart speaker. So all I have to do, in my case, it's an Amazon product. I use the A word. I won't say it here because I don't want to turn stuff on in your home, but I'll say A, Test 1 on, and boom, it comes on. And then the cool thing is I can actually set up schedules in the application, maybe to turn it on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon during the winter time and turn it off at midnight. And all that's controlled through the application, in addition to me being able to turn it on and off through my smart speaker. So it's an incredibly easy device to add. And as you add more Wyze products to your home automation schema, you can add them to the application and control them all from this same screen. Okay, that was super easy to add this to my application, and I can promise you it's not that easy with a lot of other devices. You've got to go through all kinds of digital calisthenics to add other companies' devices to the application, and especially to get them talking to your smart speaker. With this one, the minute I add it in the application, because I've got the interface with my smart speaker already set up, it knows that I added 2 new switches, or plugs in this case, and added them right away to my voice control. So that's pretty cool. All right, so what separates the Wyze Plug Outdoor from a lot of the other outdoor plugs on the market? Well, there's a few things. For starters, the Wi-Fi distance is critically important because a lot of the other ones that look similar to this have a really short connection distance for Wi-Fi, and that has to do with the circuitry inside the smart plug. If they didn't build in an enhanced Wi-Fi inside the plug, it's only going to give you short distances, and unfortunately, a lot of times your Wi-Fi connection is in a room in your house, and there may be 2 or 3 walls between the plug and that actual Wi-Fi connection. With this one, you're going to get extended distance. Now, I've walked to the backyard of my property, all the way in the very back of my yard. I have no trouble whatsoever connecting up. So I like the enhanced Wi-Fi. I also love the fact that it supports 15 amps of current between the 2 outlets, which means I can plug it into an outdoor plug and I'm not giving up any of the current that's available there. I can supply 15 amps of current to both of those plugs and be able to fully utilize that outdoor plug. Another thing I like about it is it's got switches on the front. A lot of them have that, some don't have that, but that's a nice touch because if I'm out there and I decide I want to turn the lights on while I'm out there, if I don't have my phone with me, I just hit the button and it turns on. I like that they got a day-night sensor on it too, because if I'm lazy and I don't want to deal with scheduling it, I can just say, look, deal with the sensor. Just when the sun goes down, turn them on. When the sun comes up, turn them off. That works really well for a lot of the garden lighting we have outside. It's great for Christmas too, because it'll turn them on, and then I have a cleanup program that turns everything off at midnight. So anything outdoors that's on shuts off at midnight, and I can program that through the application. As I mentioned before, I like the sort of away mode where I can put it in this random time where it turns on and turns off. It almost looks like I'm home and I'm flipping lights on and off inside the house. That works really well if you have the Wyze bulbs inside the house or other Wyze indoor plugs, because you can have all kinds of things going on and off, which will confuse a burglar. They're not going to break into your house because they're thinking, boy, they're running around from room to room turning lights on, so it's going to scare them away. The other thing, and I think this is probably the biggest point, is I want to buy a product from a company I can trust. And I know there are a lot of companies out there that make all kinds of outlandish promises about their products. I've used Wyze products for a couple of years now, and you can see from my application, I have a ton of their stuff in my home. I have the Wyze bulbs, the Wyze color bulbs, I've got indoor plugs, I've got security things built in. I like the fact that they stand behind their products. They're constantly pushing new firmware updates to improve their products. Some of the other companies out there, maybe it's a couple of dollars cheaper, which may not be the case because they built some really cost-effective products. But if you chase that price, you may buy something from a company that really hasn't thought out the application, it isn't fully configured yet, or there's limitations on what it can do, and they're not going to update it over time. And again, they may be here today and gone tomorrow. These guys are around for the long haul. They've been building products every year. They're coming out with new stuff all the time. I own a ton of their gear, and I really, really like this company. So I feel good spending money on a product from a company that I can trust and I know they're going to be around for a long time. So that's pretty much all I had for today. I really hope you found this helpful. I think it's a phenomenal product, and what I love so much about it is I've got an outlet outside that's dumb, essentially. I plug this in, it immediately gets smart and I can control it. So that's a really big benefit for me. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay nerdy.